What's up YouTube, it's your boy Naughty Nev. Welcome back to another video. So today's video is another testing with K9 Cyber Dragons, and oh my gosh, a bizarre thing happened in this testing. We had to deal with the MULCHARMIES, guys. Now, as we know, when you get hit with MULCHARMIES for Wallos, you're like, oh great, now I have to decide how far I want to extend, how many cards do I want to give my opponents. But guys, it gets even worse. Imagine getting hit with Fuwalos and Purulia. Oh my goodness. But let's leave that part towards the end of the video so that you guys can see what exactly happened. So first, let me show you guys the changes I've made and the deck list I played. So if you guys have seen my previous video, I was talking about how we need to try to take out Cyber Dragon Nashta, Cyber Jormungandr, obviously polymerization, because we only played that since we had Cyber Jormungandr in our deck. So we're obviously going to take out Heroes Varag from the extra deck. So as you can see, we took out those cards, removed 3 cards from our main deck and a card from the extra deck, and still playing the list, but this time we're playing the lock, guys. We are playing the lock. Why are we playing this lock? We're playing the lock because, number one, while it is legal to play, why not take advantage of locking your opponent so that it gives you the greatest advantage? And with K9 Cyber Dragons, specifically with the help of K9s, because it's easier and better. Number one, you can give your opponent Mjolnir, lock them, and you can end on a decent end board. Much better than Cyber Dragons. So of course we're going to play the lock. And yeah, guys, this is the deck list. I would go over it again, but you guys have seen me go over the deck list many times. So here's the list. Now, let's hop right into the replay. Okay, guys, this is the replay. So we won the rock, paper, scissors, and we decided to go first. In our opening hand, we have Cyberload Fusion, Cyberdark Chimera, K9 Azuna, K9 Lantern, Crossout Designator. Opponent has Fuwalos, Dominus Purge, Song of the Dominators, Cookie Yummy, and Mignon. I assume that's how you say it. So yes, guys, we are going up against Yummy. So our hand is not that ideal. Quite a weird hand, to be honest. Azuna can only activate, number one, if our opponent activates a monster effect in the hand or graveyard. We don't preferably want to normal summon her because we have Chimera. At the same time, we don't have an ideal card to discard because we only have Cyberload Fusion and Crossout, and we want to keep Crossout for protecting ourselves. What a weird hand, guys. It's quite a weird hand. But let me show you what happened. So in the main phase, we normal summon our Chimera and we take the sacrifice. Using its effect, we're going to discard Cyberload Fusion to try and search for Power Bond, but our opponent hits us with Dominus Purge, which basically negates the effect to add a card from the deck. We have nothing to stop that. Then our opponent wants to activate Fuwalos, and I was like thinking, can I do something? Can I play through this? But now he activated a monster effect, so we can now use Azuna's effect. So of course, after a few seconds of thinking, we're going to chain Crossout and we're going to negate his Fuwalos. Now, that opens up our K9 play, so we're going to activate, we're going to activate K9 Azuna to summon ourselves from the hand. User effect, we're going to send Lupus to the graveyard. Lupus effect to special summon himself. And then we're going to Xyz summon into our K9 Ripper. Using Ripper's effect, detaching Lupus, we're going to search for Case of K9. And because our opponent did activate a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, we get to set a quick play spell, which will be the K9 X-Forced Release. Then we're going to activate Case of K9 to search for Jockle. Sorry, a few seconds of thinking on how I want to go about this, because I was thinking whether I want to use Jockle's effect and reveal Lantern, or do I want to use Lantern's effect to just target a Lupus in grave and special summon. But I decided, you know what, let me just use Jockle's effect. So Jockle will summon itself and Lantern. Then we'll use Jockle to search for another copy of Azuna for our opponent's turn. Maybe it can serve as an extra body we can use with Lupus to Xyz summon as a disruption. Then we're going to use a Lantern and Jockle to Xyz summon into our another rank 5 Valon. Then here I was like thinking, what can I do with Cyberdark Chimera? Can I do some Cyber Dragon plays? So I was just thinking for a bit and I decided, cool, let's link summon into Clockwork Knight, and Case of K9 is a continuous spell, guys. So Chainlink 1, Cyberdark Cameo, Chainlink 2, Clockwork Knight, sending Case of K9. We're going to search for the continuous spell, Clockwork Knight, and we will send Cyberdark Worm to the grave. Cyberdark Worm's effect, and our opponent just scoops. You guys can let me know if my opponent could do something, but here, thankfully, due to having Cyberdark Chimera and we got access to Case of K9, this is essentially, and we had Cyberdark Fusion in our grave, so Cyberdark Worm could add that back, but the point is we can still end on I think it was a regular Cyber Dragon end board along with the K9 engine. So I think we were cooking, guys. We were cooking. So we won game 1. We're gonna go into game 2. Our opponent is now going first. So in our opponent's hand, they have Song of the Dominators, Cupsy, Mistaken Arrest, Droll, and another Mistaken Arrest. We have Lightning Storm, Cyber Dragon Core, Fuwalos, Nibiru, and Ash. Gosh, guys, what a... Technically, this is a beautiful going second hand, and you have a starter. Wow. Unfortunately, let's just see how it went, guys. Okay, so we enter the main phase. Our opponent is going to normal summon Cupsy, use its effect to add a yummy card, and here I decided, since I don't have Imperm, I'm going to Ash the Cupsy so that they don't get access to a yummy card. I was thinking of Yummy Surprise. If they don't have it in their hand, I don't want them to get it. So I Ash the Cupsy. Then on the new chain, I think it was in chaining to Ash, I activated my Fuwalos. My opponent lets it go through. Next, they will link summon into Yummy, and then on the summon, they will drop the Droll since we did draw a card. Then Snatchy effect, that's going to place a field spell, and the field spell they're going to place is the Mignon. Quite a weird name, but anyway, Mignon effect will reborn the Cupsy from grave. Now they can synchro summon. They're going to synchro summon into Lollipop. Lollipop effect to special summon 2 yummy monsters from the graveyard, but the effects will be negated. So just bring back the Cupsy and the Snatchy. Now here, it was a 5 summon, so I'm going to activate Nibiru, taking the risk that my opponent does not have another yummy monster in hand, because they can take the Nibiru token, link summon into Link Spider, and technically, since they control the Link 1, they can special summon the yummy monster from hand and continue playing. So we drop the Nib, clear the board, give our opponent the token, and then our opponent just sets Song of the Dominators. Now, he made a mistake. He misread Mistaken Arrest. Mistaken Arrest says neither player can add cards from their deck to the hand except by drawing them until the end of your next turn. So technically, this will resolve until the end of my opponent's next turn. He misread that. He thought it will just be until the end of my turn. So that was his mistake. He should have just set it first and then just activated during our turn, of course. But we're going to draw for turn. We draw into Cyberdark Realm. Obviously, Mistaken Arrest is like a Droll, and Droll does hurt us, guys. If we can't add cards to our hand, we're in a very difficult position. So I just enter the battle phase, destroy over the token. I decide to normal summon my Claw and just use those two to link summon into SP Little Knight. And our opponent just drew into Obedience School, guys. What a crazy top deck. So, and unfortunately, SP is not going to be enough for this, and we have no hand traps in hand. So our opponent is just going to pop off. So they're going to resolve Obedience School. They're going to summon Lollipop, Cupsy, and Cookie. They'll use Lollipop to link summon into Snatchy. They'll use Cupsy, link summon into another copy of Snatchy. And then they'll use Snatchy and Cookie to synchro summon into Cupsy. Cupsy effect gets to add 2 yummy monsters from the deck to the hand. That will be another copy of Cupsy and Cookie. Then, and they have to discard a card. They'll just discard the Mistaken Arrest. Then our opponent will special summon Cupsy effect to add Yummy Surprise to their hand. Our opponent will then special summon Cookie from the hand. Cookie's effect to reduce SP's attack by 1,000, but it won't get destroyed since it wasn't summoned off a synchro monster. I decide to chain SP target herself and Link 1 Snatchy. My opponent does chain the synchro monster. We were just testing here. My opponent wants to chain Snatchy, which is fine. Like I said, we were just testing. So he will chain Snatchy as well. Snatchy to synchro summon, so SP does lose target. Our opponent will synchro summon into Cookie, Yummy Way. And the two monsters he'll reborn is Cookie and Lollipop from the graveyard. Lollipop effect will reborn Cookie from the graveyard. And then, yes, yeah, opponent was just thinking what to summon, but he attempted to enter battle phase, and that is clearly game. So we just give him game up. That was very unfortunate for us guys. Now we go into the all-important game 3. We are going first. In our hand, we have Cyber Emergency, Cyberdark Worm, Golden Lockbird, Cyberdark Claw, and Case of K9. Opponent has Fuwalos, Dominus Purge, Obedient School, Perulia, and another copy of Fuwalos. Both MULCHARMIES, absolutely beautiful, and also a starter. Oh my gosh, guys. Absolutely crazy. But let's see what happened. So, in the standby phase, our opponent drops the Fuwalos. We have no response. Chains Perulia. Again, no response. So now this is a very difficult position for us. But in the main phase, we're going to start with Case of K9. We're going to add Izuna to our hand since our opponent did activate a monster effect in the hand or graveyard this turn. Yeah. Cool. So we're going to activate Cyber Emergency. I was just showing my opponent what I added to my hand. Cyber Emergency will get us Cyber Dragon Core. We normal summon Core. Opponent will draw a card. Opponent will hit us with Dominus Purge to negate the search of Core. But thankfully, we already have Cyberdark Claw in our hand. But first, I decided let me link summon into Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight effect, sending Case of K9, and it gets impermed. Wow, that's crazy, guys. Now here I was like really thinking what to do. It did take a few minutes. So here I decided to activate Izuna. Yes, activate Izuna. Sorry, I was just thinking if we can use Izuna, but it does say if your opponent activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard this turn, but I was like confused with this part during the main phase. But technically during the main phase, you're allowed to special summon her. But our opponent did activate a monster effect this turn. Cool. So Izuna will summon from the hand. Since we did summon from the hand, opponent will draw another card. We're going to send Lupus to the graveyard. Lupus effect to summon himself. Then we're going to use those two to exceed summon into Ripper. Opponent gets to draw another card. Ripper's effect, we're going to detach Lupus to search for Jockle. Then we're going to set K9 X-Force to release since our opponent did activate a monster effect in the hand or graveyard. Then we're going to go Jockle effect, reveal itself, and Cyberdark Worm. Opponent gets to draw another card, but thankfully it's not another interruption. Jockle effect will search for Lantern. Then we're going to go Cyberdark Claw effect. We're going to search for Cyberdark Realm. Then we're going to, I accidentally clicked the wrong button. But I first wanted to use Cyberdark Realm to search for Chimera. Then we will use Realm effect to normal summon our Chimera. Opponent draws into Ash, but it is a dead card since our opponent did use Dominus Purge. Then we're going to use Clockwork Knight and Cyberdark Worm to link summon into Artifact Dagda. Cyberdark Worm effect, send Hertz as cost to reborn himself and recycle Emergency back to our hand. Hertz effect will add Cyber Dragon to our hand. Then we'll use Worm and Jockle to, I attempted to exceed summon into Vimana, but actually I can't because it's a light monster, so I just took that back. I was still going to exceed summon, so my opponent can keep the card in his hand, and we went into Veilon. Then I went Chimera's effect. Here, he activated Ash. I was also going to use Ripper to negate the Ash, but then I was like, oh wait, you used Dominus Purge, so you can't actually activate Ash Blossom. So Chimera will search Power Bond. Then we're going to activate Power Bond as Chain Link 1, since my opponent did not have any response. And in case you guys don't know, Artifact Dagda does say when. It's a when effect, so it needs to be the next chain after the first chain link. We get to chain it, and that will set Artifact Molnir from the deck to our spell and trap zone. So we're going to fusion summon into Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, and then on summon Rampage Dragon's effect is going to destroy Molnir. Then we'll just use Chimera and Artifact Dagda to link summon into SP Little Knight. I just decided to use SP effect to banish the Dominus Purge because the other Dominus cards have this thing where it's like if you have another trap in your grave or something else, etc. Even though he has imperm, but just for practice, banish a trap card. Cool. Then we're going to use Lantern's Effect. Lantern's Effect will reborn the Lupus. We use Lupus and Lantern to Xyz summon into Quen Query. Opponent is drawing cards, as you can see, but unfortunately, it's no other interruption, so it's not looking good for our opponent. And at this point, it's already too late. We use Quen Query Effect. We target the Mjolnir in the grave, and we're going to give it to our opponent. Yeah, he was just fooling around because he was like, no, I don't want it. Keep it. Yeah, that was the joke going on here. But now that it's summoned to our opponent's field, mandatory effect, Mjolnir effect triggers, and now our opponent is locked into only special summoning artifact monsters. And we proceed to the end phase. We resolve Power Bond. We take 2,100 damage. And we simply pause for turn. Our opponent draws into a cookie. We also, in case you guys are wondering, like you need to resolve Perulia and Wallace. So it is true because at the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plus 6 is 13. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Opponent has 13 cards. So it's not more than 13. He gets to keep those cards in his hand. There we go. So opponent starts off their turn in the main phase, just activating Pot of Prosperity. Obviously, I don't have anything to negate that, so I let it go through. And then our opponent does mill for Wallows, Perulia, Ash, Yummy Surprise, Imperm, and a Crossout Designator. Opponent adds Imperm to the hand, but that's a dead card because they already control a monster. So opponent adds all the cards back to the bottom of the deck. Opponent was thinking what to do, but on res, I was like, wait, let me just drop this Droll and Lockbird on you so you can't search anymore. And my opponent scoops, guys. Cyber Dragons K9 takes the win through a Perulia and through a Fuwalos. Wow, that was crazy, guys. Honestly, at the first time when I saw him drop the both MULCHARMIES, sorry, I was like, damn it, I'm gonna lose now. But then my friend, I always have this saying where I say, listen, even if they draw into many cards, the cards that they draw into can be copies, and technically most cards are once per turn. So think about it. If you let your opponent draw into cards, but you can still play, sure, they're gonna draw into it, but they're all once per turn. So at the end of the turn, they're gonna have dead cards in their hand. So if you can still lock them, Nevin, do it. Do it, bro. And yeah, we took the challenge, and thankfully it worked in our favor. My opponent did draw into some hand traps, but towards the end, he just drew into engine, and it worked in our favor. And Cyber Dragon K9 Cyber Dragon, sorry, takes the win, guys. So there you go, guys. This is another testing, and I was happy with this build because we took out Jormungandr and Nashta, kept some space for another copy of Clockwork Knight. And also, we just reduced the deck size, so we were more focused on key engine cards for Cyber Dragons as well as K9s. So I'm quite happy with this list. And also, I'm quite happy playing the lock. It really helps, guys. It really helps. Sure, I understand it is very unfair. Of course it is. But also, people playing pair dice smasher. Like, if you're playing that, then just play the lock, guys. While it's still legal, just play it. Otherwise, guys, this brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Naughty Nev signing out. Peace.